do some yoga on the back. Can be good just if you're lying in bed in the morning trying to wake up and get the blood flowing. It can also be good if you happen to be sick in bed and you can't move around so much. So these are just some moves that you can try lying down. It might work better if you're lying on a flat surface, but it can also be done in bed. So let's get started. I'm just lying on a towel just for a little bit of cushioning, but that's up to you. You can use a yoga mat, just something to support your head. And you can use a yoga belt, but it's not always necessary. Sometimes we can just use whatever's around, a blanket, a sheet, will work just fine. So we'll just start by lying down, getting comfortable, making sure that we're properly aligned, just our back is as flat as can be. And let's just hug the knees to the chest and start to rock around. We're massaging the sacrum here, but we're also starting to loosen up the lower back. You may notice a little bit of tightness in your lower back the closer you squeeze your knees in towards your chest, but just start to work through that. Start to move through circles, and don't forget to reverse the direction of the circles. So we're moving around, loosening up our back. We're also loosening up our hip sockets. So you can start to part the legs, start to roll the femur bones around in the hip sockets. And then just let one leg out straight in front of you and continue to hold the right knee in towards the chest. And then just start switching legs, keeping one leg straight out as the other one hugs in towards the chest. Good. Starting to loosen up the hamstrings here by keeping the legs straight. One leg straight, one leg bent. Keep the feet flexed here to extend the stretches. Once your legs are starting to warm up, we can come into happy baby. So you're going to reach your hands through the insides of your knees to grab onto the outer edges of the feet. And if you can't quite make it here, you can always grab your belt or your blanket or something to help you stretch your hip bones out, hip muscles. So just rock back and forth, perhaps lengthening one leg at a time, just rolling back and forth, really feeling the flow, feeling your hips starting to loosen up. And then bring your knees back to the chest and roll them around again. Roll around in some gentle circles. All the while, keep your neck, the back of your neck relaxed. Make sure it's relaxed back on a pillow or back on a gentle support. Good. And then place your feet down for a moment. Grab onto your belt or your blanket or anything that will hold its tension. You don't want anything too stretchy. And then let's just wrap the belt or the blanket around the balls of the feet. So you don't want it on the heels, you don't want it on the toes, just the good meaty part of your foot right here. And then lengthen through the backs of the knees. Press the thighs away from the body and stretch the hamstrings. So our feet are not completely flexed here. They're slightly, if you can see my feet, they're not completely flexed. They're slightly pushing up. So that's going to help release our hamstrings. Good. Stretch the hamstrings. Make sure here that your back of your neck and your shoulders are still relaxed. Breathe. Start to be aware of your breath and how your breath moves through your practice, through your stretching. Good. And then release the left leg. And let's just give the right leg some attention. Again, keep the left leg strong and straight, just like the right. And feel the back of the knee stretching away from the body, the hamstring lengthening. switch legs. So it helps to have the back straight here, whereas if you're in like a really squishy bed, your back may be sinking into the bed a little bit, but it's okay. It's still better than nothing. It's still good to give your legs some attention. Good. And then from here, let's just try and loosen up the hip socket a little bit more, just by bending the knee and gently rotating it around. Just like in Happy Baby, we're just doing one leg at a time. And then let's switch legs. Really start to loosen up the legs. Good, and bring both legs together again and stretch up towards the ceiling, the sky, whatever you may be looking at. And when we're stretching our hamstrings like this, you want to make sure that the sacrum does not roll up off of the ground. You want to keep the sacrum down on the ground so that we have a stable base to stretch our hamstrings from. Good. And release the legs. Bend the knees to the chest, roll around a little bit more. Take the time here to just twist the head to the right, twist the head to the left, just gently stretching out the neck. Good. And then something else you can do to open up the hips is to bring the soles of the feet together and just let the knees splay out as far as they can to the sides. If your hips are really tight and your knees are up here, just grab some pillows and shove them under the sides of your thighs to give your hips a little bit of support. Otherwise, just let your knees splay out to the side and gently relax your hips. Feel the warmth coming into your hips as they start to loosen up. And you can hold this for about 5 minutes, and it will start to loosen up the ligaments, the muscles in your joints, in the hips. And slowly, whenever you're ready, bring your knees back together, and then you may wish to take a gentle twist to the right. And slowly twist over to the left. Back to center. Another good thing to do while you're lying in bed is just to hold on to the backs of the thighs and just stretch out the toes. Let's get into the joints of the feet. Just pointing, flexing the toes, and then get into the ankles, point and flex the ankles, and then just start to rotate, really feel vitality coming into the joints of the feet. Okay. So, those are just a couple ideas that I had for starting to loosen up the body as you're lying down, whether it's on the floor or in bed, and I hope you'll enjoy.